Perfect. Thanks for the introduction, Madhusha. This is pretty amazing. Yes, I'm pretty happy to see Madhusha excited. I'm pretty excited. Everyone here is pretty excited. And I'm sure all of you who are watching are going to be pretty excited with what we have planned. So, as Madhusha said, it's going to be a 10-week thing where every week we're going to code some apps, and each app is extremely well organized, and they're going to be building on the essential skills that you need as a professional Android developer. So we're not just going over any skills; they are handpicked and extremely important ones that you would need in your Android development uh, journey. We're going to start off week one, July 11th. Whoa, it's today. Yes, we're going to start today by building two apps. The first one, the customary Hello World app. We always start with the Hello World app. That's the way computer science works. And the second one is going to be a favorite celebrity app. So we're going to be building two pretty cool apps, pretty amazing. Next week, I just want to show you what this program is about. So we are going to build on what we learned this week. The next Saturday, we're going to be getting the difficulty up one notch and then going really slowly and explaining everything in great detail. And everything is hands-on, so it's very interactive. So those who are watching on the live stream, they can put their questions in, and it'll be featured over here, and then we'll go over the questions. So very interactive, um, and finally, our capstone project. So it keeps on building incrementally, and the apps become more and more complex, and you learn more and more skills. And by the end of this, you'll be able to build a complex favorite dogs app. Yes, it's a favorite dogs app. It incorporates all the concepts you've learned over these 10 weeks. It uses Firebase as the backend database. It uses all the advanced concepts such as recycler views, how to make networking operations on the phone, action bars, floating action buttons. What's the proper way to incorporate all these Android fundamentals? Because you can just code it, but we are even going to go over how to code it in the most proper and professional way. Well, I know most of you are pretty excited on seeing the progress. Where am I going to be in these 10 weeks? If I invest my time here, where am I going to be in these 10 weeks? So everything's properly planned. We're going to start off, we just discussed these 2 weeks, few apps here and there, you can go through it. A dice app, a random joke app, an X and Zero app. We're going to build some games too in Android. Then favorite dog breeds app, and we're going to use different skills while doing it. Then a users app. So if you have a database of users, you can do that. Again, this will be backed up by an online database. Then again, the favorite dogs breeds app, which uses different skills. So we're going to build it in parts. And finally, the capstone project, the favorite dogs app. So here's the agenda for today. And before I go any further, as Madhusha said, if you can start the download for Android Studio, because as I said, this is a hands-on workshop, so we're going to be going over this together. So Android Studio is about over 800, the file is about 800 MBs large. So I'm sure for some of you at least, it might take some time. So I'd highly recommend if you go to this link and start the download and install it too if you can in that time. And then we'll go over everything together. So the agenda for today, we start off with the introduction, which we like. What is Android? Why Android development? What not? What have you? Everything Android. Then we get your IDE and your emulator set. We set it up for all of us, and then we start coding our two amazing apps. And finally, we have a question session, and then we end by introducing us to the next week's session. But here, I want you to notice something. We have just included a 10 minutes question session, but that's actually pretty deceiving because this is a highly interactive workshop. So at any point, you can put your questions on YouTube and they will be featured here. So even in these times, if you have any questions, we will answer those. And then at the end, it could be some longer questions that you might have and any problems in setting up something and much more time-consuming problems. So I hope everything is fine so far. So perfect. So I'll proceed. Yes, Android. Main topic of our whole workshop of our whole week of workshop, 10 weeks of workshops, Android. Well, Android, it started off in 2008, and now it's been over 12 years. And boy, oh boy, has it expanded. One of the biggest advantages of building for Android is its um, amazing outreach that you have. So if you want to go into statistics, over 329 million Android phones were sold in the second quarter of 2018, and that accounts to about 3.6 million apps on the Play Store as of March 2018. And these numbers just keep going up. So if you build an app here, if I'm here in Baton Rouge, if I build an app here or you build your app at your home, you can be confident that if you publish it on the Play Store, your app can be accessed by everyone around the globe. So you have a powerful tool, a building for Android to get your software out in multiple hands around the world. It started out with phones, but now you might see it on tablets, watches, and even surprisingly on TVs and cars. So Android Auto for cars and even on televisions, there's some Android support there. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, sure, Rohan, Android is great, but there are so many other great platforms there. Why exactly Android? So, well, this is a very good question, and we should talk about this before we actually start doing Android. Is why? So, the first important thing is app distribution. So, if you make an app today, as we just previously mentioned, you have such a large outreach because the Play Store is being used by so many people that your app, you can be guaranteed that your app will be visible by so many people, and many people can download your app. And also, this is pretty important, publishing the app on the Play Store is extremely cheap. So I believe for iOS, you have to pay $100 per year fee in order to publish apps on the App Store. Well, for the Google Play Store, you only need to pay a one-time fee of $25, and then you can publish any number of apps you want at any time. It's pretty free for a developer. It's $25 is pretty insignificant, and it's not a yearly fee. It's just a one-time fee of $25, so it's pretty amazing there. And now, for a developer, this is pretty important. To make Android apps, we're going to be using one of the really fundamental languages of computer programming, Java, which most of us have usually college classes. They usually start with Java or C++. So most of you will have quite a bit of experience in Java or C++. So the good thing is it's very easy for you to transition from what you know in Java and just learn the Android specific components of Java. So making Android apps will be pretty easy. You don't need to learn a new language or start from scratch. You already have a huge head start. So it'll significantly help you in your journey. Second thing is, for the visual part, we're going to be using a language called XML, which is like an easy HTML, and it's pretty easy before this. And Android, as I said, it's launched in 2008. Now it's been over 12 years. Over these 12 years, many people have had problems, and they have posted their problems on Stack Overflow, their questions on Stack Overflow, and answers have been posted there. So if you have any questions, be sure that your questions will be answered. Well, I have a feeling that I'm blabbing on for too long. We are getting very close to getting our hands dirty with creating our first Android apps. So hang in there for a little longer. The tools. We're going to use Android Studio as our IDE, our integrated development environment. We're going to go over what that is exactly. And we're going to be using the emulator that comes bundled with Android Studio. So this is what we're going to be building apps natively for Android. However, I just wanted to mention there are some cross-platform tools that you can use to make Android apps, and those are Flutter, which is by Google, quite a lot of attention, is pretty amazing, and Xamarin, which is also a pretty good tool. But we're going to be building apps natively. Yes, a little bit about an IDE. So some people who might be new to this, so IDE is, think of it as a bundle of all tools that you need as a developer. So for like the emulator, the coding environment, and debugger. So everything, the command line interface, everything is already bundled in this one proper environment for you as a developer to use. So yes. Some examples: Android Studio, which is the one that we are going to use; IntelliJ, which you might have used for Java; and NetBeans, again, which you might have used for Java. Finally, yes, we made it. The boring wording section is gone. Now, finally, we're going to get into making our apps. So today's apps are going to be the first Hello World app and the second, the favorite celebrity app. We went over it. And yes, we begin our setup. So I'm not paying attention at the YouTube live stream, but I mean, if there are any questions, I believe it will be featured here. So if there are any questions, I will go over that. So setup, yes. So I'm pretty sure most of you must have started the download for Android Studio. If not, no problem. You can head over to this link and let us start download for Android Studio. So it's very simple. Just click on this and choose all the defaults. We aren't going to deviate from the defaults. So download Android Studio. And as I said, this is a pretty large file. So actually, it's going to take a few more seconds. Let me just see. All right, people are here. Okay, that's good. Perfect. We'll just wait for this download to get over. Yes. Okay. So once again, so this is the link that we're going to be downloading Android Studio from. If you could even type Android Studio download, and it'll be this link, or even the first, any one of these links will direct you to that page. And we download Android Studio from here. It's a pretty large file, so it could take some time. And now I will go over how will we install it. So let us open it up. I'm going to take a small sip of water. Well, actually, to most people, they might think that this is water. But actually, what I'm drinking here is liquid confidence. I really need some confidence for this show, for this workshop. If I ever feel that I'm not confident, I'm going to chug on this because I need to moisturize my windpipes. Anyway, yes. So for most of you, you won't have this option because currently I have it installed already. So I'll just go to next, next, next. As I said, be sure to keep all the defaults as it is. So next, choose a folder. Yes. Yes. So I believe this can be zoomed in, but yes, I will zoom in if possible. So here, this you can select the default folder for installation. Next, and now I won't click on install because I already have Android Studio installed. But once you click on install, it should be a pretty fast process, so it won't take too much of time. So I'll give all of you a little bit of time, and you can let us know when it's done. Yes. I So I believe this like can't be zoomed in. So doesn't seem, but I will zoom in for on the browser or any other place where I can zoom in. I hope that won't be a problem. I hope all of you can see it. So once we get Android Studio installed, you can just let us know. And if there are any questions too, you can let us know. So as I said again, I hope you're installing it now. So I'll click on cancel because already one Android Studio version is installed. Quit Android, yes. And when you're done, so I'll open it up now. And when you're done, you can open it up too. I'll be waiting for some time, of course. So you should get a screen like this. If you get a screen like this, once your installation is complete and you open Android Studio, that means everything is working fine. So let me actually just look in the chat if there are any questions here. Yes. Yes. There seems to be a significant lag here. So if, yeah, just let me know. So when some people let me know that the installation is complete, then we'll move forward. So I'll be giving it some time. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So Gautami says done. And Christoph, I see you. You're amazing. Yes, Christoph. So now, perfect. So I assume all of you are here, and that's the messages that I'm getting. If not, it will be fine. I hope you are here. Now, we're going to be starting our first Android Studio project. So click on the first option, Android Studio project. And now you'll be getting the screen where you have these like default templates. So we're going to be starting everything from scratch. So you can select empty activity and click next. So this is some terms that we're going to be using quite often. Activity, which is synonymous to screen. So think of activity as a screen. So we want an empty screen to start. Then next. And now here for your app name, we can call it Hello World. And that's for the app name. For our package name, so package name is a unique identifier that you would use as an Android developer when you publish apps on the Play Store. So usually the convention is the reverse of your domain name. So even if you don't have a website, you can just put your name down. So com dot and then your name, and then dot then the app name. So for me, it is com dot my name Rohan Kadgol dot then the app name Hello World. You see, it changes. So you can just leave it to anything for now. It doesn't have to be unique for now. Just leave it as it is. Then you can select a folder of your choice. So usually the default folder is Android Studio Projects. Default folder is, can I zoom this in? Yes, I can zoom it in. Oh, I can't zoom it in. It just expands. So default folder is C users, your name, C users, your name, then Android Studio Projects. That's the default folder. But I will choose a different one. So this is a good way to see what folder you want to use. I'll name it Android Weekly Series and save it there. Perfect. Hello World. Perfect. Finish. And Java, and keep the minimum API level to 19. That, I think I sped through that. I accidentally sped through that. I'll show it to you again. Be sure to keep this to 19. We'll be talking like what this is, but keep everything to the defaults. Package name, it doesn't have to be unique. You can type anything in. A save location of your choice. Language, Java, and the app name, you can keep it to Hello World, and then tap on finish. And now, so I hope all of you are here, because if you have, this is pretty exciting. You technically have actually built your first app, technically, because this, like Android Studio, it has already given you a template project that just says Hello World. So slow and yes, yes, yes. I think I'm too fast. So yes. Oh, I see. I see. I will pay attention. My still loading. Absolutely, no problem. I will slow down. It's totally interactive. So yes, let me know, and I will listen to the comments, of course. So let's give it some time. Yes, absolutely. Many people are saying still loading, so I'll give it a few more minutes. So yes, David, Esther, Harshita, just let me know when it's. Yes, absolutely. If there's any specific part you want us to go over, let me know. This is usually I get this kind of silence now because there's no audience here, but I actually get this silence even in in-person workshops. Yeah, people just look at me and "Oh, what the hell are you doing?" That's the usual response I get. So I thought I'd come to online, so that way I have an excuse that there's no audience here, that's why it's silent. But the actual thing is, even when the workshops were in person, it was pretty silent, and it threw me into there's something called depression, just making up some story until you all have finished, of course. When Madhusha gives me the thumbs up when I should proceed, I'll proceed. Absolutely, yes. We'll give it a minute. I'm just going to catch up if I get stuck. Perfect. Thanks for letting me know, David. That's good. Perfect. Perfect. They said we can move on. Perfect. So if you have come here, that's pretty amazing. You have your first app technically built. So this is the IDE that we were talking about, Android Studio. So a lot of cool stuff. This is all the tools that you need to be making apps. So actually this is the first part of it, which was Android Studio setup. So currently we have set up the tools that we'll need for creating Android apps. However, the second step is how do we test our apps? So we can create our apps, but we need some place to test our apps. So Rohan, maybe physical devices. Huh. But what about people who don't have Android phones? Or what about people who have Android phones, but they don't want to test on their phone that they use all the time because they feel that they might mess something up? So for that, there's something very useful called emulators. So that's what we're going to set up now. So physical devices, that's the most accurate testing experience that you can have, because it's an actual device. How an emulator is pretty accurate. It's very accurate. Uh, if you want to think of like an analogy for emulators, think of emulators as a virtual machine. So a virtual machine is uh, so just hold on a second. Yes. A virtual machine you must have used on like cloud services. So it's the same thing. It's an actual replica of an Android phone that will run on the resources of your laptop. So let us set that up. I'm just sorry. There's just one thing. I'll just be back. There's a bit of a problem. Just a minute, please. Perfect. Very sorry about that. I just got that fixed. That would have trouble for a long time. Anyway, now we are here. Perfect. We're setting up our emulators. So now let us set up our emulator. So we'll go over how to set up our physical device too. But first, let us see how will we set up our emulator. So an emulator is a place where you can test your Android apps. So let's set that up. So So here are the slides. You can refer to the slides too, but we'll actually show here. So when you're in Android Studio, on the top, you'd find this thing called AVD Manager. So once you are here on AVD Manager, you can click on AVD Manager, and you won't get this page because currently 3 emulators are already set up, but you will get a page with just this button, Create Virtual Device. So you can just click on Create Virtual Device, and you will come to this page. Now, this page is a page of like which you want to set an emulator for which device. So there are some really good options of like Pixel devices, which is as you know by Google. So you can choose anyone that you want, but it's best if you choose something like a Pixel 2 or something. I mean, it's your choice, but try to choose something that has this Play Store icon here, because this means that your emulator can actually will have the Play Store installed on that emulator. That means you can download apps on that emulator. It could be pretty important in the future. So let's select this Pixel 2, the one with this, then click on Next. Perfect. Now you will come to this page where you have to select which operating system you want it to run on. Like technically it's Android, but which version? So Pixel 2, the recommended ones for us are these ones. So as you know, the same phone can have like different versions. So you might be on like version number, let's say 24, and then it tells you to update your actual phone, right? The same thing is here. So you can pre-install this emulator with a specific version. So there are a few things to note here. Yes, we clicked create a virtual device. Then we chose the one that has this Play Store. Yes. Now when you're selecting this image, first thing is try to select from the recommended ones. So it's something like this, but be sure on which level you're selecting. So if you have some issues on your computer where it's slowing down when you run the emulator, best thing is choose a lower API level. Something like here. It'll speed up your computer and it'll still give you a pretty good Android experience. I mean, there's nothing wrong with selecting a lower one. So I'll repeat, if you have a fast computer, you could go ahead with a higher API level. If you have a bit of a slower computer, it's best if you choose something that's lower. A lower API level means it will demand less of your computing resources. Because again, an emulator, it runs on your actual PC. It's not an actual phone. It runs on it uses the resources of your actual computer. Perfect. Now for the last step, so we'll come back here. It's funny, but it's not. Perfect. Now you can click on next. Now for the last step, you can just leave the name to its default, or you could change the name to your liking. So since there was already one Pixel API 29, so just give it a 3 here. Leave everything to the defaults, and then click on finish. And now you have your emulator set up. So you have an actual Android phone on your laptop. To run this, just click on the display button, and behold the amazing magic that's going to happen. It'll spin up, think of it like spinning up a virtual machine. So it'll spin up this testing bed for Android apps, like an actual Android phone. So we're going to see how it works. So let's give it some time. Starting AVD, perfect. So seems to be some problem here. Not enough space. I see. So there's less space on this laptop. So I'll just run one of the emulator that was previously created. So instead of selecting three, I'm going to run a previously created emulator. So again, in AVD Manager, I'm going to run this one. Hopefully this will work. Perfect. This is working. So for you, it'll definitely work. But for me, on this laptop, there's less storage space. So it's giving a bit of a problem. And now, here's the cool thing. This is an actual Android device that you have. So you could like use the mouse as your finger and test stuff. And you could, it's very accurate. So you could change the orientation of it. So it mimics everything of an Android phone. And now it's not doing anything because it isn't meant to, right? The home page isn't meant to rotate. You can click the back button here, increase the volume, and take a screenshot and stuff like that. So this was, I'll give it some time. We'll go over the steps again. I hope you have your emulator set up. We clicked on AVD Manager on the top. Then we clicked on Create Virtual Device. Right? You might have an option there, Create Virtual Device. Then we selected any device that has this play button. Next, we selected the one that has this Google Play when it asks us which operating system version you want to run, which Android version. Preferably we select the one from recommended and from Google Play. We went over this. Choose a high API level if you have a fast PC, lower for a slow PC. Change the name if you want, but leave everything to defaults and click finish. So I hope everything is fine till here. Yes, and you can then you can click on this. You can click on this play button to start your emulator. So I hope everything is fine till here. So I'll just check the chats. If you have, oh yes, oh yeah, there's some questions. If we have never done it before, we have to download the OS image file. Oh yes, yes, absolutely. You will have to download that. Click on the download button there. So, oh yes, I should go over that. So, this is giving a problem. Right, Christoph is right. When you go to AVD Manager, create virtual device, select anyone here, click on download. So, you might have nothing installed. So here Q is installed for me on this PC. So you can, no need of downloading it. However, as Christoph said, if you have done it, if you haven't done it before, then you would need to click the download button. So that's, Christoph is right there. You can click on the download button there, and that could take some time. So I will give it some time. I know it could take some time. So this is all, it could seem boring now. I'm pretty sure it's people are like, what the hell is going on? We came here for building Android apps and you are making us do this. Trust me, this is the foundation. Once this is done, things will go really fast and you'll get to the interesting how to build cool apps and stuff. So this is the boring part, but there's a big reward at the end. You get to make your very own apps once you do this. So I'll give it a few more minutes. When Madhusha gives me the heads up, a thumbs up, everything is fine. I can move on. And if there are any questions, we can go over that. I get an error, could not start AVD. I see. Could not start AVD. So let me see why that could happen. Does it give you any other error along with that, Krishna? Oh yes, there's a bit of a lag here. Let me, if there's some resource that could help Christoph and anyone else too. Oh yes, so This is one common thing that could happen, but it will take quite a bit of time here. Something called this uh, Intel HAXM. I really don't know what exactly it is, but this creates problems for when you for in some cases something called hardware acceleration. Yes, emulator accelerator. So I will paste this link here. This link here. Yes, yes, Christoph is right. Again, Christoph is on top of this today. Enable virtualization in your computer's motherboard. This is a link that could help you out in the BIOS timing. Yes, correct. So once you enable that, then it will definitely work. This could be a problem for quite many of you, so about 60%. So if it doesn't work now, uh, we'll give it a few more minutes, but it could take a long time. So if it like I don't know, Madhusha will tell me. There's another question. Yes. So if Yudesh and Madhusha, if, they are organizing this thing. So there's another question. Yes. Enable. Uh, another one. Oh yes, I was able to run the emulator, but keeps getting system UI isn't responding. Oh yes. So I believe it's Antoinette. Yeah, I'm sorry for pronouncing it wrong. This is happening because the emulator is demanding too much of your computer's resources. So like one suggestion is you can create a new emulator with a lower API version. So that again is a common problem that people can have. So when you created your virtual device, Antoinette, select one that's lower. That usually always works. If not, then you can go over to like the non-recommended ones and take an even lower one. That's not recommended. Um, highly recommended stick within the recommended ones. So that will solve your problem. Hopefully, Antoinette is choose a one that has a lower API level. That should solve your problem, right? How can I proceed from package com my applications? How can I proceed from so I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm not getting what the question is, but we'll cover this. What exactly is going on here? Uh, but yes, so if Udesh and Madhusha, so uh, I can go ahead. It's or give it a few more minutes. Perfect. That person is still stuck on step one. Oh, I see. I see. How can I proceed from package.com.my applications? I see. I will definitely go over that. Stuck. Absolutely. I'll go over that.
I think he's asking about.
I think I get it. So from here, this package thing. Yes. So if this is your question, so I believe you must have clicked new project, right? And you must have got some page like this. So then click on empty activity. Next. And then now for your app name, you can select Hello World. For package name, leave it to the defaults. Default is usually com.example.helloworld. Leave it to the defaults if you want. Then select the location where you want to save this. Then select the language as Java. Then select your minimum API level to 19. And then click finish. So the important things are just actually the app name, you can leave it to anything. Important things only just Java and minimum API level to 19. So I hope that was your question and that is solved. Thank you. I'll try that. Absolutely, Antoinette. For Esther, I hope this will help. I believe that was what you were asking, but if not, don't worry. At the end, we will go over it in detail if you want. Perfect. So I think, so Madhusha, I can go ahead. Any other
Yeah,
questions?
you're good to go. You're good to go.
Perfect.
If you get more questions, I'll read it out loud.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Madhusha. So, Madhusha gives a heads up. We'll move on. Now, we actually get to the interesting part. We're going to be making our first Hello World app. But hold on, Rohan. I already see this Hello World here. That's pretty surprising. So, does this mean that I've already made the app? Well, technically, yes. So, whenever you start an Android Studio project with the empty activity as your template, it already creates this Hello World thing. So, you technically have finished your first Hello World app. We are going to edit and modify this a little more and personalize it to your taste because currently the Hello World is far too small and also it's not very colorful. So, however, for now, let us test this on our emulator. So, so to save time for the physical device setup, we will go over that later. But for now, the emulator, let us run this app on the emulator and let us see how it works. So choose the emulator that you have that you created just now. So I will choose this one. Then click on this play button. That's it. That's how easy it is. Then go in the bottom. You'll see this build tool here, this build uh, pane over here. You will notice these. If you get all tick marks, that means your app is built. Then notice on the emulator, your app is actually ready. So it is exactly like this is an actual phone that's running. So yes, and here's the back button, and everything works like a real phone. So we have our Hello World app running on our emulator. So I'll give it a few more minutes for people to catch up. If there are any questions, I believe Madhusha will tell me through voice.
Hey, Rohan,
Yes,
do you think
yes,
you can zoom in a little bit?
yes.
Because some of those displays were very blurry on the stream, so I want everybody to see it.
Ah, I see. So like these ones here, or I see these ones.
Yeah, there's the top drop down ones.
So these ones like these ones.
Yeah, just zoom. If you can zoom in
Yes,
a little bit, that would be awesome.
yes, absolutely. Let me. So hopefully this will work. So 12. It was 12. Perfect, perfect. So I believe this will surely be. Yes, Manisha, I'm pretty sure this is fine now. This is good. Perfect. So I believe this is good. Uh, so now I'll give it maybe half more minute and let's see if anyone else has any questions. Perfect. Everything seems fine here. So now the good thing is we have our app ready. However, if you look at the final stage of our app, right? A final stage of our app, that was this one. You notice the font is different, the background color is different, and it just and the text color is also different. So that brings us to our actual. Let us see how are we going to edit this layout that we have. So the default layout is good, but let's edit it. A few basic terms that we need to know. One is view. So view, you will hear this quite a lot. View is think of it as a widget or as a component of your layout. So everything is a view, everything. So the text view, it displays text. An image view, it displays an image. A button is a view that allows for clicks. So everything is a view. Constraints, um, we'll go over this later, but just think of it as a relative, like a relational positioning of these views. So these views are layout elements on your screen. Constraints help them to be positioned relatively. That's very important. Not absolutely, but relatively. We'll go over this in detail, so don't get overwhelmed. It's fine. Now, when you select any one of the views that are there in your layout, So there's a text view that's here, right, in your default layout. Let me see if I can zoom this a little bit. Doesn't look like it can. Zoom in. So if you click on oh, actually I can go in Android Studio too. If you click on any of these views in this hierarchy here, that means in your layout, you will notice this attribute pane suddenly gets populated, and you have this attribute pane that gets filled. Now, this attribute pane, it contains all the attributes for this view. So if you notice here, you can scroll down to common attributes, this subsection. Notice here in text, it says hello world. So that's exactly the text here. You can change this to your name. So you can change this to, let's say, Christoph. So you could have Christoph, but I'll change it to mine. Yes, of course, me. And just click on enter. You notice the layout preview, it updates now with the changed text. That is how easy it is. All you have to do is click on that view in the layout, go to the attributes pane, and then modify the attributes here and until it matches your liking. So one thing is you might want to change the text to hello and then your name. The second thing you might want to do is change the text size. So you can select the drop down and choose probably a bigger one, 36 SP. SP is a unit for text size. So that's just one thing to note. So I'll repeat again, change the text, click on the view in the preview or in the component tree. The attributes pane populates up. Change the text to hello and then your name. Change the text size to something bigger to your liking always. So you could even change it to something like 40 if you want 40 SP, something even bigger. Perfect. Now you can change the text color too to something that you like. So text color, it's that easy. Just go through these common attributes and then just change any one of them until they match your liking. So text color, we can change this to, I think, material 500. This is very good where you have these standardized colors that are very beautiful. So you don't have to actually go through this color picker and select one that doesn't really look good. You can select through these default ones. So let's say if I want the text to be a little bit of orange, I'm getting a bit of orange here, and all you have to do is enter or just exit out of this. That's it. You just changed the text color and the text size of the text of this text view Now, to see the app in action on your emulator, all you have to do is click on this restart app button. So when you click restart app, you notice the build, it does its stuff again, and wow, it updated. So this is how easy it is. Android development is very intuitive because of this graphical kind of interface. This GUI is very helpful for like someone who's starting out, because all you have to do is click on it and modify the attributes here. Now we this is think of it like we're going to have few challenges here. So through these, so I think there's a bit of lag, so we won't do it. But like to change the font of this, what property you think you have to change from here? So this seems pretty obvious, font family, and that's right. So in font family, you have these pre-selected, these default kind of fonts that you have. If you want more customized fonts, you can click on more fonts and download the fonts that you want. So this is, you can customize it until it matches your liking. And so font family is here. So I'm just going to keep it as casual. And this is how I'm going to keep it as. So hello, my name Rohan, and then an exclamation mark. So I moved quite a lot. Let me see if there are any questions here. I don't see the text size. The text size, I see. So if you don't see the text size, not a problem. So when you click on this text view, you navigate to, you might not see text size here. click on the search button here. So there are a plethora of attributes that you can modify. So you could get overwhelmed and lost in this sea of attributes. So you can just type here text size, and then you'll definitely get it over here. And then you can select this and select any one of the pre-selected options, or you could type in your own value and be sure to end it with SP, which is a unit of text size. So I hope that solves your question. And then for Yusuf, I hope that solves the question. And Antoinette, how do I view the component tree and attributes on the screen? Mine looks different. Very good question. So let's go over how we can see that. So let me minimize everything. So we can see this is the absolute bare bones minimum. So now to get everything back to how we wanted it, you notice here the project pane. Click on project. Now you get the file explorer, like the file hierarchy of your project. So it contains all your code, your image resources, everything. Now on the top here, you'll see this palette. Right here, this palette. Click on palette. Now you notice all these this set of widgets or views that you can drag and put it on your layout, which we're going to do in our second app today. So we are 1 hour down, so it'll be pretty interesting. Now, next is this component tree here at the bottom. Click on component tree and you get this. So it might have been minimized for you. You can click on component tree and you get this. You can select these and it gets selected in the layout. The last thing is attributes. You can select attributes and you get this attributes pane. So if it's minimized, absolutely, you can click on these tabs and that pane opens up. So I hope that solved your question. Yes, Yusuf, thank you, and Antoinette, perfect. Now, very good. Now, here's a bit of a challenge, and I will give you some time. I will keep it interactive. So, click on this constraint layout, right? Now this is like the root view. This is always a hierarchy. Within constraint layout, there's this. Think of constraint layout as a parent view. So if you want to change the color of this, can you find a property in this sea of properties? Can you find something like background? You want to change the background. I'll give you a hint. You want to change the background. Can you figure out like which property you want to use? So there's a bit of lag, so I won't wait for your reply. I'll give you some time to search. The tip is you want to change the background color. Let's say it's orange, right? The text is orange. So if you want to give the background of, I think a black would go very well. Black and then orange would stand out on that. So I hope you figured it out by now. Yes, the background here. So click on background. Be sure to select constraint layout, by the way. Constraint layout, background. And let's go for complete black. And be sure to, if your color is transparent, be sure to make this all the way to the dark portion of it. So sometimes by default, it ends up here. This is transparent. So any color you click, it is transparent. You see this? It's transparent. Bring it to the opaque. You want all black and you see this stands out. And perfect. Again, this is modified to your liking. Now you might be thinking, Rohan, why did we click on constraint layout and then go to the background? Well, let's see. So I'll press Ctrl Z and undo this change. Let's see if you were to click text view and then click background. So I'll give you some time to think what would have happened. So if you select the background for text view, I hope you figured it out by now. Yes. So let's click a red background. You notice? Oh, let's make it opaque. The background only changes for that text view. So select the appropriate view and change the background for that. So that was something to note. Ctrl Z, let's back it up. And for the background, so select the constraint layout or click like on the periphery of this, click on the parent or the empty part of this preview. Click on background and let's select, let's give it a nice light blue. No, that doesn't look good. Wow, this looks good. So you can modify to your liking, and I think we'll keep it to this. So Now, everything is fine. Everything looks good. Let us run it on our device. So you see how easy it is. You just have to select the view here, change the property of it, and then click on restart, and your app works again. It's that easy. That's why like Android is kind of easy, because you do not need to know any programming skills till now. No programming language. We do not use any of these programming languages. Why, you ask? That is because behind the scenes, if you notice here, design and text, behind the scenes, Android converts whatever you type here in this graphical user interface, in this GUI, it converts it to XML code behind the scenes. So you don't need to do this. You notice here, hello Rohan, text color has changed. So you can just do everything in this GUI, and it updates it in the text. So amazing. I'm pretty sure, or I hope all of you are excited about this. So this is your first step. Any questions so far? Perfect. Um, I'm stuck. Yes. So you can ask the question. So yes, this is the thing. Uh, yes. So if there's any question, you can go ahead, Esther. Uh, yes, and I think Madhusa will let me know what that Esther's question is. So this is pretty nice. I'll give you some time to catch up. I'm pretty sure Esther has a question. I want to help Esther out. So um, I'll give you some time. If you are stuck, you can try to get to this stage of the app. Or if you aren't stuck, if you have completed it, be sure to modify it to your liking. Perfect. After the first setup, I do not know how to proceed. Yes. So after the first setup, I do not know how to proceed. So let's see if we can figure that out. After the first setup, I don't know how to proceed. Yes. After the first setup, so I believe uh, so all we did was we clicked on this text view. So let me yes, escape. Perfect. You must have had something like this. Maximum is you must have had everything minimized. So let's start from the basics. So we open project. Excuse me. We open palette. We open component tree. We open attributes. And this is the layout that usually you want to have when you develop these apps. Perfect. Next step is click on the view, either in the component tree, which is your hierarchy of views, or in your layout. And you notice the attributes pane, all these options suddenly start to appear. Now what we did was we changed the text of this to hello, so you could change it to your name. So I changed it to my name, you can change it to your name, right? It's very simple. We just change the text here. Next, we changed was text size. So it was, I think, to the default maybe 12, I believe. So we changed it to 40 to have it a little bigger. Be sure to include SP as the unit. And finally, the text color, we changed it to some orange, which again, it's completely customizable. You can choose any of these that you want, or you can use these controls manually and select one, or you can use these predefined colors that are very beautiful and perfectly selected. Um, perfect select proper red, proper pink, and so on and so forth. So I I hope that answered your question, Esther. If not, we'll build it at the end. Not a problem. We'll go with that at the end. Perfect. Perfect. Now, uh, now we have actually completed our first Hello World app. So this is extremely nice. So if you have come till here, amazing progress. So you have set up Android Studio, you have set up your emulator. Now you have built your first Android app, this Hello World app. You modified it by clicking on it and changing the attributes here. You ran it on your emulator by clicking the play button or this restart app button. So everything works now. So this is amazing. Congratulations. You have done extremely well. No. So this is fine. Yes, Rohan, but we need some interaction with this app. Can you teach us something like where we do some interaction with it? Absolutely. That is, for me, it's the most exciting part is when you get to interact with your app. when you get to interact with your creation. So that will bring us to our second app called the Favorite Celebrity app. Here you can tell your favorite celebrity to tell you exactly what you want. So let's see what we're going to build. So in this app, you're going to download a picture of your celebrity, your favorite celebrity. Mine, as my favorite celebrity is Conan O'Brien or Craig Ferguson, two amazing comedians on late night television. And so you're going to download these images and put these images in your app. Next is you are going to add a button. And when you click on the button, it tells you some unique message. Like for me, I put hello Rohan, but for you, you could type like hello Christoph, hello Esther, or something like hey Christoph, you're looking good. Christoph could type that in, and it could be like Conan O'Brien is telling Christoph, you look good. So you could change it to whatever you want. Pretty exciting app. Let's get started. Lot to learn here, and it's pretty exciting. First thing first, setup. So download 2 to 3 images of your favorite celebrities, preferably in these formats. Download it and put it in a folder, maybe on the desktop or wherever you feel good. But remember the folder where you save it at. Maybe even save it in the downloads folder. It doesn't matter. So very simple. We'll just type Conan O'Brien pictures, and this is the one that I downloaded. Uh, right click on it, just the usual way. Best is open image or save image as. Right, you can save it as, and I'll save it in the downloads folder itself. Just save it. I'll download one for Craig Ferguson, and yes, you can choose whichever one. I'll just use this one, which is on Wikipedia of Craig Ferguson. Save image as, and save this here. Perfect. You have these 2 images now, and this is pretty fast process. I'm sure all of you have downloaded these images. Perfect. Now, let us start our new app. So, click on File, because now you're currently in your Hello World app. Let's start a new app from scratch. You might be familiar with this process because when you click New Project, remember seeing the screen before? Yes, when we created a Hello World project, we were encountered with the same screen. So select Empty Activity, Next. Now here, name this application as Favorite Celebrity App. So it won't. So it's highly recommended you. I mean, you can type space bars here, but your folder, don't put any space bars here. It's not preferred. In your package name, for sure, no space marks are allowed. So let's name it in this camel case kind of thing, where you start with the capitalized thing. So Favorite Celebrity App. Package name, leave it to the default if you want. Location to the default if you want. Language, Java. Your minimum API level to a 19. So and then click on Finish. So again, I'll repeat: Favorite Celebrity App, leave it to defaults. Your favorite choice of location, language Java, minimum API level 19. Finish. Perfect. And now it'll build this project up again. It'll open these files for us. Now, there's one thing that we have to talk about is, what if we accidentally close these 2 files? What if we accidentally close them? Oh, what to do now? Well, it is present in this project pane, right? You can navigate to Java, then click on your package name, the first one, not the green ones, the first one. Then double click on main activity. This is your code. So this is the coding component of it. Next thing is your layout component. You remember where we had the attributes pane and so on and so forth. That will be under res. So under app, res, layout, activity underscore main. You can double click on this, and now you get this layout XML file that you had from before. Perfect. So now you have these 2 files. Now, I hope all of you are here. Let me quickly see if there are any questions. We can quickly go over them. Perfect. So no questions are here. Um, favorite celebrity app. Now let us build our layout. Before building a layout, let us import the images that we downloaded a few minutes ago. Let us import it in our Android Studio project. So in our drawable folder, you will notice we have these default things. It's fine. But now what we need to do is go open your file explorer or the equivalent thing on Mac. Go to your whichever folder you downloaded the images from. Click on them. Drag it to the drawable folder. Then you will get something like this. Click on OK. Perfect. Do the same for the other image. Take it from here. Drag it to the drawable folder. And you should get something like this. So under drawable, you should have your two images. Perfect. Now, one common mistake that could happen is the formatting of your image name. So be sure to rename it. So right click, refactor, rename. Rename this to all small letters and only underscores. So stuff like this might cause problem, this apostrophe, these capital letters will definitely cause problem. So just leave it to something simple. So all small letters and underscore for spacebar. Refactor. Do the same for the Craig Ferguson image. Refactor, rename. I'm going to just name it as the name. Refactor. You have these two images now. Now, let us observe what layout we wanted to build. We wanted to build something like view, zoom out. You notice we need an image here. Now, that brings us to a chance to use this tool here. Under main activity, your palette, choose this image view. But before you do that, delete the text view. We won't need it now. So click on it, then tap the delete button. Delete. So your component tree should be empty. Only this root view should be there. Now drag the image view on the screen. Now here, click on project, and you will notice your two images that you imported in the project. They're present here. So now you can select any of these images. So I'll select the Conan O'Brien one. There's a quick question, absolutely. Let's see. I'm seeing two layers next to each other on the screen. Is that normal? Yes. Good question, Yusuf. So let us see this. So Yusuf asked, you're seeing two. That is happening because here this option, for you it might be selected design plus blueprint, right? Something like this. This is normal, yes. So design plus blueprint, it is a way of design is what the user will see. Blueprint is for the developer. So let us see the difference. Like if you, perfect, we'll talk about this. So if you put the image view here, we select project, we select Conan O'Brien, double click. Now you notice on the design part of it, we are in design plus blueprint, design, blueprint. So in the design part of it, you have the image. On the blueprint part of it, you just have a very simplistic view of what is there in your layout. You notice here, at first one glance, there's an image view here. This is basically for the developers. But I mean, you won't really need to use this quite a lot. So if you want to toggle this off, click on this like a stack, this blue icon with like a stack of squares, then select design. And you just get one. It's a good question, Yusuf. Just select one. Perfect. So how are we doing on time? Yes, 1:44. So we have this. Perfect. Now you might notice you get this error that says the view is not constrained. Now let's see what it means. So let me actually take the image, zoom it out, place it in the center of the screen. And now let me run this app on our emulator. Very simple. Select your app, select your emulator from here, click the play button. Oh, Rohan, something happened here. Didn't I select this image in the middle? But it jumped all the way to the top left. You notice here there's some border here. That's this, but it technically jumped to the top left. But I set it in the middle. Well, that is exactly what this error is saying. You need to do something called constraints, which is which I told we'll go over in detail later. Let's go over it in detail now. So you want to constrain this. You want to place it relative to other views on the screen. So drag this top circle here to the top. Now run your app again. Nothing changes. So like if you notice here, um, so constraints are a way to say how to place your screen relative to how to place your views relative to other views. So by default, it jumps to 0, 0, which is here at the top. As it says here, it will jump to the left. So let me explain this further by adding a bottom constraint now. Now, if you notice this, this view is being pulled from the top and pulled from the bottom by an equal amount. So it will be centered vertically. It's like very conceptual. I mean, very like intuitive. So if you look at the attributes pane, you can add a bias, like who pulls it by a greater amount. So you could make it a 0, make it a 100. I mean, I hope you're getting this. Like it's very like who's going to win the battle. So you can think of like if you want to center it in the middle, keep your bias to 50. So then the top pulls it by the same amount as the bottom. So it stays in the center. Let us run the app again. You notice now it is centered vertically. Huh. But why is it sticking to the left? Well, that is because by default, as I said, it jumps to the top left. But since you have specified a custom vertical direction, so it came in the middle vertically, but now we have to specify it in the middle of horizontally as well. So the same thing, we'll do it in the horizontal direction as well. So now we notice it pulls it from the left by same amount, by the right from the same amount. And same, the biases work the same way. So this is what we have so far. Very nice. Let's run the app and let's see if it works as fine. So on time, we have about 45 more minutes. So I'll speed up a little bit. Let me see if any questions. All right, good. We solved this. Perfect. Now the thing is, we need a button here at the bottom. So I'll give you some time to think like, how will you do that? The tip is here. So how do you think we'll be implementing a button in our layout? A hint is last time when we wanted an image, we dragged the image on this layout. So what about button? If you have figured it out already, yes, we drag the button from the palette into the layout and we place it here. And now we need to change the text of this button. How would we change the text of this button? If you have figured it out, very good. You would click on this button and change in the attributes pane, change the text attribute of it.